We're going to cover why alternative press named me the Michael Bay of metalcore, which is interesting. But I guess I like to bring the movie world into my productions. I think that I tend to do more epic sounding productions. I like to do things on a more grander scale. I like to add like explosions and reverse cymbals and reverse snares and all that good stuff. We're going to talk about how to do these in your own songs, similar to how I do it, or the same to how I do it, but there's a couple things you got to understand about these. And the first thing is the tricks are only used to emphasize things that are already good. So it's not an excuse for making a bad song a good song. It can't make up for bad songwriting or poor arrangement. So you want to only utilize these things when you've done your homework, you've made the arrangement better, you've made the song better, and now you want to just go that extra 5% to really send it over the edge. Also, if you try to use these tricks inappropriately, it can sound like you're trying too hard, like you're forcing it to be in the song. And that's never a good thing either. So let's start with explosions. Now, I don't mean actual explosions. Now, sometimes you can use actual explosions, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, because you certainly could. But explosions are more of just a descriptive word for what kind of sound I'm talking about. So I'm talking about things that burst, and then they have a long tail. These can be used for the choruses or big moments of a song, just to kind of make the part explode. In this particular song that we've been listening to and going through, I used a rifle. Pretty much, here's the rifle track right here. Now you can see it's used quite a bit throughout the song. I'll show you what it sounds like. Okay, so yeah, that's a gunshot, a rifle. And then there's occasionally parts in the song where I actually reverse the rifle going into the rifle. I'll show you how to do it too. So you just take your rifle sample and you just drag it back like this. And I usually try and, before I drag it backwards, I try to figure out how much of it I want. So I might listen to a part like this part right here. And I might be like, okay, I want it to start fading in here, and then it'll end here. So I'll drag it back that far, like that. And then I'll cut it off where I want it to stop, and I'll delete the rest, and then select that and just go to process and reverse. And so that reverses it. Now, if you were to leave it like this, you would notice that the reverse just kind of starts out of nowhere. So I like to add a little fade in, because that tends to make it a little smoother. Yeah, so this gunshot is just used to reinforce the downbeat of certain sections in the song. So like here's the chorus gunshot. And then if I remove it, a little bit less impactful without it there. Now there's other parts in the song where it plays a bigger role, and I think like this example is a good one. that just helps emphasize those really like powerful hits. I also have, there's other things in here that are reinforcing the same thing. So I've got the gunshot, and then I've added a bass drop, and that's really subtle, but it's in there. I've also added an extra crash, and that's in addition to the drums playing a crash. I'll show you see the drums play crash as well. So he hits a crash and then immediately goes to the China. And then if you add my crash plus the bass drop and the rifle, you just get a much bigger impact. And then also I think in a couple of sections of the song we add even another thing, which is this sound effect that's a kind of a different explosion. It's just like a weird kind of magical sound, I guess. So we add that to the mix. And that's how we get the explosion that you hear when the breakdown starts. So if you remove all that stuff, you just have a basic breakdown. It doesn't have anything special. And then add all the elements. Just an extra little 5% to really kind of send it over the edge. And then I guess other explosions. Let's see, what else do I have? I know there's one other one somewhere. I think that's it. Yeah, so that's what I mean when I say explosions. And I think there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You don't have to use a gunshot. You can use, like, I mean, you can experiment. Go outside and record yourself shutting your car door and then bring that into your song and put some reverb on it and see what happens. I don't have my samples with me, otherwise I could show what different explosion sounds sound like, but I think you get the point.